flow. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Why have I surfaced? By ebb and flow. Our lights binds me. I'll make it so. Our lights binds me. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. Spare the pleasantries. Spare the pleasantries.
Our hero is forward.
I come to you now at the turn of the tide. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. Convince me. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. Binds me. Spare the pleasantries. By ebb and flow. So. By ebb and flow. Our lights binds me. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide
Our
you
forces
over.
are under attack.
I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. By ebb
Our forces
and
are
flow.
under attack.
Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow.
Insufficient
This
man.
ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow.
under attack.
This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Convince me. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. Aid us in our plight. Spare the pleasantries. Aid us in our plight. Why have I served?
Our forces are under attack.
Aid us in our plight.
Our forces are under attack.
Convince me. Aid us in our plight. Convince me. Enable my revenge. Why have I surfaced? By ebb and flow. Enable my revenge. Surfaced.
Our allies. Our hero has fallen.
Enable my revenge. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me.
Our hero has fallen.
I come to you now at the turn of the tide. Spare the pleasantries. Why have I surfaced? Enable my revenge. I'll make it so. Aid us in our plight. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Enable my revenge. By ebb and flow.
More gold
Why
is
have I
required.
surfaced? Spare the pleasantry. Aid us in our plight. This ought to tide you. Spare the pleasant.
Our forces are under attack.
Alliance binds me. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over.
Our forces are
Enable
under
my
attack.
revenge. Aid us in our plight. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. Binds me. This ought to tide you over.
Our allies' hero has fallen.
By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. Why have I surfaced? By ebb and flow. Convince me. Enable my revenge. I'll make it so. It's this ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. Convince me. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. Enable my revenge. Spare the pleasantries. I'll make it so.
Our forces are under attack.
Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so.
Our allies' hero has fallen.
By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Convince me. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. Land on stone. By ebb and flow. Lead us in our light. Alliance binds me. I'll make it so. This ought to
Our allies' hero has fallen. Our forces are under attack.
spare the pleasantries. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. This ought to tie
Our forces are under attack.
by ebb and flow. Convince me. Our alliance bind me. Spare the pleasantries. By ebb and flow. Rams air. This binds me. Convince me. This
Our allied hero has fallen.
This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. Aid us in our plight. I'll make it so.
Our allied hero has fallen.
Spare the pleasantry. Why have I surfaced? Round them all. Aid us in our plight. I'll make it so. Convince me. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. This ought to flow. Why have I surfaced? This ought to flow. Aid us in our plight. Convince me. Claim my revenge. Aid us in our plight. Convince me. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Binds me.
Out.
I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow.
fallen.
Why have I surfaced? This ought to tide you over. Enable my revenge. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. By end and flow. I'll make it so. Spare the pleasantries. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. Convince me. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. This ought to
Our
tide you
allies'
over.
hero has fallen.
By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you.
Our allies' forces are under attack.
I surfaced. Our alliance binds me. Alliance I will honor our pact. Our alliance binds me. As you wish. Ayashara. I will honor our pact. As you wish. I will honor our pact. Our alliance Ayashara. I will honor our alliance. Is it safe? Ayashara.
Our allies' hero has fallen.
Our alliance. As you wish.
Our forces are under attack. Our allies' hero has fallen. Our hero has fallen.